you guys are here in Blacklight, prepping for Operation Last Things. Now, a little background for Blacklight. Blacklight is an undercover agency, kind of even secret from the main organizations of the world. They kind of operate independently. And most of the time, even if government officials understand what Blacklight is, they think it's just kind of some, covert ops, hush hush organization, and they just kind of glaze over it. Most people don't realize that the true purpose of Blacklight is to investigate supernatural and other unearthly kind of events, and to maintain a state of calm and secrecy from the rest of the populace. And all five of you are essentially sleeper agents for Blacklight. You live normal jobs. You have a normal life. You have family. You have friends. You have all those kind of things. And occasionally you get contacted to go on missions, and so you have to figure out some way to do it. And this is one of the cases. Each one of you was contacted and told to make preparations because of your vicinity to head towards Spokane, Washington, as the nearest agents, and to arrive at 2 p.m. at the local post office just outside of Spokane, and instead it's kind of like a smaller suburb of that city. And so the five of you have made your way on the assigned date, and just outside of town you have a fairly nondescript building. The offices are housed here. You understand the address, but from the outside you don't see anything that would indicate a Blacklight office. You've got classic parking lots, some SUVs, the trees are there. It's just sort of off the road and rather boring. But when it comes into it, every one of you slowly arrives and makes your way up to the meeting room. Just this plain white, drab meeting room, as we've all seen. The chairs are kind of soft but slightly uncomfortable at the same time, all hooked up to the TVs and the whiteboards. There's only one entrance in and out. It's the main door. And after a while, you were able to sit down and talk with one another for a moment. And eventually, two government agents arrive as well. And you recognize these as standard procedure for the handlers. The coordinators from the agency that handles the missions, gives you your directives, and sends you on your way, and then reports back to the main agency and to the main headquarters for you as you return back to your lives. And so, before they dive directly into the directives, is there anything that you guys want to talk about with each other, or anything else? How do you guys
Is this
approach the
before the
scene?
handlers arrive?
Yes, this is before the handlers arrive. So we'll assume the handlers are just about to arrive, and so as agents of Blacklight yourselves, how do you guys each handle this situation of prepping and awaiting your directives for the mission?
I
Out
think
of game, is it normal for us to be able to reveal something of ourselves to our other team members when they assemble? I assume we've done this before.
Yeah, you've all gone on missions before. You may not have gone on missions together, but I'm going to leave your discretion, leave the revelation of information to your own discretion. Obviously, your feelings of secrecy and subtlety is your own, and so how tight-lipped you are will depend on your own approach.
Understood. Understood.
But yeah, so let's go just through the order that we have on the bottom of the screen right now, and let's start with Chris. Let's start with you, and you can give me a quick kind of how you approach the start of a new mission.
Bartholomew enters according to the instructions that he was given in the communication he received. He's the first one in the room. He surveys it. He is seated in the chair at the corner closest to the door, just in case.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Rogers.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers is a man in the early 60s, and he standing behind the seat. He doesn't feel that comfortable sitting there, and he's leaning over leaning over the seat and basically looking at everybody here.
Okay, perfect. Dave Fitz.
He kind of shuffles in. As he sits down, he kind of checks the underside of the table and the underside of his chair, and just kind of sits down and leans back. He's trying to appear cool and calm, but he's clearly nervous.
Good. Let's go with Dry Scythe, Manny.
So Manny is, when he first enters the room, he gives out like a bit of a yawn. And, like, hey everybody, you ready for today's great world-saving mission? And then he sort of lays his head down on the table, almost asleep.
Nice.
Bartholomew gives a little chuckle.
Excellent. And last but not least, Lou.
Lou, wake up, buddy.
Yeah, it's all good. Taking a moment. Remaining silent. Let's see. If you are talking, we cannot hear you at the moment. We're registering.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, just wanted to make sure that we weren't having technical difficulties. Is there anything that you do as right before the agents approach and enter the room? All right. I'm gonna assume Lou's staying silent. Okay. Oh, let's let him back in. Quick.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
Sure.
Yep. We were hearing you just a second. We're not hearing you now. And again, not trying to rush you. Just want to make sure I understand what you're thinking. Okay. Hopefully we'll get this keep going. But yeah, after everybody comes in and kind of has a moment together as a group, the handlers come in. A pair of agents walk in and they look out and look to each of you and recognize and thank you guys for coming on such short notice. This was a bit of an unexpected operation as we've had a bit of a conundrum that we need some quick action to. And one of them continues talking, the other one kind of turns on the TV and hooks up the main screen, and they start showing you some pictures. They tell you that a ex-agent, a Clyde Bowman, he was an ex-agent of Blacklight. He was active in the years of 1960 to 1967, so an older agent, but we've learned that he has recently passed due to a heart attack, and so unfortunately, our condolences go out to him and his family. But any agent's death requires that we survey his property, ensure that no evidence can be tied back to us and the agency, and that we clean the space before any relatives return. Luckily, Clyde has been living alone for quite some time, and his family, or his remaining relatives, are due to arrive in town in 48 hours. So that gives us a brief window to survey the scene, gather the evidence, and clear out before anybody knows or is the wiser. And so what they do, as well as one of the things they drop onto the screen, and in addition, they even throw this out on the table, but it's kind of on the screen, and hands this off to somebody so somebody can take this. But they give a brief dossier on Bowman, and so this is what you see.
Outstanding.
So feel free to look at that. Essentially, it just says, he was, active from 67 to 70. I apologize. So many numbers, so many things to remember sometimes. Yeah. So we've included a key to his apartment, and as well as an address. And so your mission is to be discreet. Proceed to Clyde's residence. You need to remove any evidence of blacklight activities there. And then you need to ensure that no one else is involved in this operation. Obviously, discretion is the utmost importance as we clear this out. And then you need to return here in 48 hours with a final report. If you do find that there are any signs that Bowman violated blacklight security that we are unaware of, then you need to return and report those. Because if he had leaked anything out into the world, then unfortunately we will have to follow those strands and deal with them as they come up. Is this all understood?
Understood.
Roger nods.
Any questions?
Do the handlers give us... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go first.
Do the handlers give us any indication of what happens as a consequence if we don't take care of things within the allotted time?
So your familiarity with blacklight, their policies tend to be, if things go south, they kind of sign you off as, we don't know who you are. Like they won't step in. They'll just either ensure that you do not reveal any more secrets.
Complete disavowal.
Yeah, complete disavow. If you do seem to be a problem, then other actions will be taken.
Obviously, that makes sense. Understood.
But yeah, so if you don't do it in the 48 hours, it's purely risking the exposure to Clyde's family if nothing is addressed, and then they would get involved.
Understood.
So I'd like to ask, is any of the family members aware of Clyde's work?
No. As you all know, agents are completely are discreet with their involvement with the agencies. Even their own closest relatives and loved ones do not or should not know of their involvement. And so we assume that Clyde kept the same, having been an active agent for quite some time early on. His wife has passed, his children are grown and distant, and so he's led a quiet life until his passing. So if you do find that there is involvement from others, we need to know that.
Understood.
Okay. Rogers, did you have a question?
No, Rogers is just nodding and that's it.
Okay. Excellent. Well then.
Lou is typing something.
Okay. All right. I'm so sorry, Lou, that we're having technical difficulties, but hopefully we'll get those sorted out.
Maybe if you can hear us, okay, you can just type and we can keep a lookout.
Yeah. If that comes to it, that's still the way we'll go. But yeah, hopefully restarting we'll get it figured.
To do that. Also, out of game, I've managed to shrink my character to the size of a gerbil. So if you'd be kind enough to resize that, I'm having difficulties. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Well, as they finish the conversations and addressing any other questions, I'm going to drop that dossier into the chat for anybody to review at their leisure. But then they kind of mention, hey, time is of the essence. We have 48 hours, and so we won't keep you here longer. We have provided a nondescript company car out front that you can all use for your purposes, as well as some additional funds in the event that they are needed. And they slide you kind of a standard manila envelope, all slide up, and its inside is a few $100s of money, the keys to the car, kind of registration, all those kind of basic documentations to prove ownership that they've been filed out and things like that.
Bartholomew grabs the cash and slides the keys to Fitz.
Fitz nods.
Okay. Well, good luck, gentlemen. This should be a fairly straightforward endeavor, but we appreciate your time. And with that, they kind of nod their heads and walk out, leaving you there to move forward. Is there anything you wish to do still in the meeting room before you head out to the car?
I look around, and I'm the first to break radio silence here. I just say, "The name's Abby. You can call me Bartholomew. Good to work with you."
I noticed you're the third. You mind if I call you Trey?
BA3 is what my friends call me. That's fine.
Cool. And Mr. Rogers, you mind if I call you MJ?
No, it's Mr. Rogers.
Understood, Mr. Rogers.
And Mr.
I
Rogers
guess
is
better
looking
cardigan.
Mr. Rogers is looking into his bag, double checking that his bottle of whiskey is there.
Oh, is that some Weller Green Label you got there?
And he just looks at you. I'm not sure what you're talking about. We should go.
Weather Green Label. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Let's complete this fast. It sounds easy. The faster we do this, the faster I can get some shot-eye.
Yeah. Okay. And as always, each one of you will be compensated for your time and efforts for the agency. A nondescript sum of money will be dropped directly into your accounts with a plausible alibi as to why you have received a donation to your savings. Anyways, with that, you guys eventually make your way back out of the office into the nondescript black car, a brand new 2022 Volkswagen Taos? I don't know how you pronounce car names anyways. Taos, yes. Again, fairly standard, very nondescript, no fancy things. It's designed to be the kind of car that is seen but immediately forgotten. And so you all hop in, tank full of gas, and you head off to the address provided for Clyde Bowman's apartment. In the city, you find the apartment is one of those just kind of older apartments, lined up and set in. You have access, and you can see that on the side of the door, you see the call numbers and the call buttons for each of the apartments. You see Clyde Bowman's name is still there. He's only died recently, within the last 72 hours or so that they've known about it, and so they haven't. The apartment landlord hasn't been able to address or even find a new tenant. So signs of Clyde is still there, but you're able to gain access into the building and walk up into the apartment interior, where the key
Do
itself.
we run in?
Go for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, does it seem like there's a lot of activity, a lot of neighbors? Anybody noticing?
So give me each one of you a let's probably go with a wisdom or a dex check. Your choice. If the majority of you succeed by passing the 12, then no one will really take notice of you.
I'll do
I
wisdom.
fail on
What a great start.
both.
I'm doing Dex.
I failed.
Failed.
Okay. So you're able to still gain access and entry, but what happens is this is our exposure threat. So right now we have exposure of 6, which means pretty much everything is good to go. No one suspects anything. But we're going to tick it down to 5 to represent that there has been some notice. It's not to the point of gaining any kind of like loose ends that you have to address, but you have drawn somewhat of attention. Big black car, 5 gentlemen come out and enter the building. So
Understood.
okay. Anyways, so the key that was provided by the handlers does slide right into the door. You can see that the door itself is fairly old. The lock is kind of creaky. It's a little loose, not like any kind of secure or high-tech lock by any means. And so the door locks. This key slides in, and with a little jiggling, it eventually clicks open, and you gain access into the apartment. Does everybody head inside?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but should we leave someone on lookout?
That's entirely up to you guys. You guys are running the investigation. So how you want to approach and maintain discrepancy or containment.
Bartholomew feels very East Coast here, so he's going to go inside, not stick out.
Yeah, I suppose if we all go in and close the door, we'll elicit less notice.
I'll be the last one to go in. Just stay by the door.
Okay.
I'm not expecting trouble, but I am mindful going inside, and my hand is on my weapon, but obviously not pulling it.
Yeah. Okay. So as you guys head in, the door creaks open, and you find yourself inside of Clyde Bowman's apartment. It's a little old school, a little old-fashioned. Hasn't really seen much past the 90s. It's probably the last time they redecorated.
I hear a faint bass fill.
Something's coming from the street, I'm sure. Anyways, as you do, you kind of notice a few things. The obviously you have some leftover food on the coffee table. You see an old computer sitting on in the corner, the table itself. You see a bookshelf, as well as to your left you see the kitchen. So you can move down that way if you want to enter the kitchen area. And so we'll go from there, as well as feel free
Let me
to
examine.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me examine the leftovers first, just to see if they're old and how old.
Yeah, give me a wisdom or an intelligence check. I guess, yeah, and if you have any of your skills your expertise or trainings, feel free to bring those up, and then we can either involve them as making them easy, or whatever the kind of bonus that you might need. So yeah, feel free to just let me know if there's something in your character that you feel would help out with these moments.
I've got intelligence +2 and criminology. So, and I rolled 17. So mod 19.
Okay. So for your investigation of the food, you can see that it probably is, a few days old. Probably roughly the same amount of time that Clyde Bowman's death was reported. It's older, it's stale. They haven't really cleaned it out or anything, but it's less than a week old. So it's just kind of like a big chunk of ham, a little bit of roast and potatoes, a cheap bottle of wine, and maybe a glass that probably isn't a nice wine glass. It's probably just a classic plastic cup.
I apologize from the briefing, but did we have a recorded cause of death, like more specific than just passed?
Yes, he died of a heart attack.
Okay. But there was no tox screen autopsy type thing?
No.
Okay.
Okay. And so we're going to go through just the line. So next up, that was Chris's action. And then we'll do Rogers.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers walks over to the computer. I will check his emails. Maybe there's something suspicious in here.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to log on to emails and personal documents, maybe looking for some earlier doctor's appointment that may indicate problems with his health earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Give me wisdom or intelligence, and include any expertise that you have.
Here, does the SIG-INT thing count here? Like dealing with electronic devices, etc.?
Yeah. So we'll make it easy, as you.
Okay, cool. I'm going for intelligence with a mod 10.
Whew. So you got a 14. You're able to log in to his email pretty quickly. He probably has on the side a password written on a sticky note, just because it's probably one of those generated ones that it's hard to remember. And so you're able to get in. You find his email. You see emails back and forth, kind of with a couple doctor appointments having checked out. You see as well some emails back and forth with his granddaughter Claire, kind of a few pictures she sent him from out of state, of her school play, of a party at her friends, things like that. Next to the computer as well, you see a kind of an odd-looking flash drive. But yeah, you're able to see kind of that within the computer.
Okay, can I grab the flash drive?
Sure.
And then I think Roger's turn is done.
Okay, so you'll have the flash drive for next turn. All right, Dave Fitz.
Dave looks at the shelf behind him and looks to see. It looks like there's CDs there. He looks to see what actual CD is in the player at the moment, and then checks that empty CD case.
Okay. So you open up the CD case, and you find an old kind of greatest hits of ABBA just sitting in the CD case, and the CD player as well. Clyde apparently liked some classic rock, I guess.
And then I guess as time allows, he would start just leafing through books, like flipping through the pages so that they're upside down. It could be ticket stubs or receipts or anything like that that might fall out.
Yeah, for sure. Give me a I'm going to say it's technically a D66 roll, but give me a D100 roll and let's see if we can land it within 66.
46.
Okay, so in one of the books, you find a small note. A small note that drops out, and as you pick it up, it reads, "Milk, eggs, bread, kill Howl." The first 3 items have been crossed out.
Kill Howl?
Yep, kill Howl. There's no indication to who or what Howl is.
You're just a
That
regular day.
HOWELL.
Yep, I dropped the note in the chat, but yeah, it's
Thank you.
HOWELL.
Yeah, as I find pertinent things, I put them on the table, share them.
That's perfect. Okay, we're gonna go over to Manny.
Well, Manny sees everybody working and checking around the room. Is there a bedroom or an office?
The office is up in the corner, and the bedroom is in the back, but it's I don't have a picture for it. But you can see, let me change the view and you'll see.
Oh, well.
So you can see back here is a bedroom. So if you want to go investigate there, you can totally do that still. I just don't have a full picture of the bedroom.
Then yeah, I would like to sort of like walk into the bedroom, see if I can like do a thorough check of things under the bed, anything on the sills of the ceilings and stuff like that.
Sure. Give me a D100 roll.
Do I just click on the 1d10 twice?
Yeah, if you click it really fast, like double click on it, it will do a D100 roll.
At 47.
47. Alright, so what you find in there is underneath his bed, you find a tool roll, one of those kind of leather rolls that as you unroll it, it has like different pockets inside of it. Normally you'd have tools and other kind of things, but in this case, there's 6 throwing knives and a vial of black liquid.
Why, man, that's pretty dangerous stuff to have. Can I try to recognize the black liquid right now?
If you give me an intelligence check, it's going to be probably hard unless you have some form of expertise around it.
Let me just check to see if there's any argument I can make. Survival wouldn't help me at all, would it?
Probably not. Not in this case.
Alright then. No, I do not. So, intelligence. A 7.
Nope. Not quite sure, but you found it.
Alright, well, this must be like, I'm sure it's something I probably shouldn't try to touch too much. So I kind of pack up the kit, go back outside to the others. It's like, he was packing something. And I hold up, like, unrolled the knives and the black liquid.
Okay. Excellent. That brings us to Lou. Hopefully you're hearing us okay. We got the audio figured out. So what do you do? I can see you're moving stuff, so that's a good sign. Just not hearing things. Yep. Unfortunately, we're still not hearing coming through. I've heard you typing a little bit. I've seen it register. Whenever you said like, "Yep, I'm talking," I hear you, but then Yeah, I just saw it come
Hello?
up. There it is. Yep, I'm hearing you
Hello?
now.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay. Let's hope it stays. I'm really sorry about this, guys.
Oh, you're okay.
No worries.
All good.
So, I would start to head towards the kitchen to look.
Okay.
You cut out again.
Sorry, Lou.
Yeah, you're doing just fine, and then it got cut off. Heading towards the kitchen.
He's probably looks like he's interested in that key above the speaker there.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's
Yeah.
kind of where you're going for. So, in the meantime, while you're still looking through that, as you walk over to the kitchen, Lou, right next to the door, hanging on the wall, is a key ring with several keys. As you pick it up, you can see that each one is labeled. So you have things like spare apartment. You have the the garage, the storage unit. You have you have the cabin. You have the tank. Things like the case. They're all just labeled with a little piece of masking tape and some permanent marker written down onto it. Yeah, I'm kind of curious if perhaps you're using any kind of extra software. I don't know. Maybe when you speak up really loud, it comes through, but then when you quiet down, it cuts out. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully you're still totally fine. And if there is in dire need, like suggested, yeah, feel free to type out your response to any of this, anything that you want to do, and I'll explain it out while we're figuring out the audio.
Bartholomew sees Lou spy those keys as he notices that there looks like there's. He's looking underneath in the cushions of the couch, underneath the coffee table, and I think he sees a briefcase.
Yes, he does. Yep.
I pull some nitrile gloves out of my first aid kit, snap them on, and slide it out and see what I have.
Yeah, so for sure. You see a briefcase that's locked, but Lou found a key that responds to the case, so you can open it. It's a tiny little key that you can click, and it opens up. And inside, you find a few filed papers and things. Let's see. Kind of a couple folders, a couple pictures, some of them older, and the corners are frayed and bent down. But yeah, it's a few things referring to some stuff related to blacklight and some things. Nothing serious. But additionally, you find inside kind of documentation of ownership of a cabin just outside of town, a few hours away.
Very good. And if I'm correct on that keychain that Lou found, we have a cabin key. Is that correct?
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And I give it a quick once over to see if there's any pocket zippered compartment hidden spot inside.
Yeah.
Beyond what was just sitting in it.
Yeah. Give me an intelligence or wisdom check.
Mod 14.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to like underneath the bottom, you actually see it's a fake bottom, which is a little weird that the blacklight stuff wasn't underneath in this secret compartment. But what you actually find inside are some scrawled notes and things of weird, almost occultish nature. Like it's kind of like a couple doodles, a couple like listings of books that all seem fairly odd, scratched out by Clyde, as if he was studying something weird.
Interesting. Since I have some expertise in crackpot conspiracy theories, can I try to see if I recognize anything?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Give me another intelligence check.
Mod 8.
Okay. I need it because you fail. Like, you do recognize a few of them, but you're quite surprised. So give me a sanity save. So I need you to make a wisdom roll versus the target.
Mod 6.
Okay, you're gonna take minus 1 point insanity. So remove that from your sanity heart, or I don't know if you saw this with the bonds. They're essentially like pools that you can apply sanity degradation over to your bonds, and if those ever get to 0,
Yes.
then the relationship with them is just broken. So you can take it to yourself, or you can
Understood.
take it to one of the bonds.
I'll take a point off my old sergeant when I was in the service.
Okay. So we'll put this over here on the table. Okay. Rogers, back to you. You're over by the computer.
Here, I think I just picked up the USB drive or flash drive, and I plug it into the computer and try to open it.
Okay. So, as you do, you can see that the USB drive asks for it starts loading up something into the computer automatically, and you actually start to see that the computer begins bugging out, since the virus that's been implanted from the USB has begun to erase all of the computer data. So what I need you to do is I need you to start, looking through the computer and trying to pull off the things that you want. And so I need you to make a check against it using probably intelligence plus any bonuses that you have, which is tremendous. And so you can be able to retrieve any of the photos, the medical records, or the browser history. And so depending on how well you roll will determine how well you're able to get through that.
What was my initial impression about the emails, the health records and things? Did they look fine?
So they looked. You haven't been able to see through all of them. Like, a lot of them are photos of family and things like that, but you're not quite sure if there aren't other things. You saw maybe a few emails that Clyde was corresponding with some unknown user. Medical records have some things related to what caused his death, as well as some medical records of his late wife as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to somehow get most of the emails.
Yeah, so you're focused.
So with intelligence check, you said, right?
Yes, intelligence check.
Okay. Mod 17.
Okay. All right. So as the computer begins erasing things, you start typing away at the computer, and you're able to pull out the photos, the emails, the browser history. You're able to pull it off and pull it onto a separate drive that you found in a drawer nearby, and so you have on a drive everything that you could grab before eventually the computer just click and it just shuts off.
While his teammates are working, Bartholomew just walks over to the door quietly and gives a quick look out the peephole just to see if there's anybody outside.
Oh, excellent. So you actually see the door opening. Let's see. You see the door opening, and you actually see see a lady walking her dog, opening the door and walking into the building.
What does she look like? What's her demeanor?
So right now she's just older. She's kind of one of those she's out walking her dog. She seems to not be like bubbly by any means. She's kind of wrinkly, and she's about 60, 70 years old. So a little frail, a little stern and terse with her, how her expression is on her face. But she pulls her dog in, and you can hear her kind of like saying, "Mitzi, Mitzi, come inside."
I'd give her a polite nod and say, "Ma'am."
Yeah. So she kind of, recognizes that you're standing there and immediately stops. And so we'll come back to that in a second, because we're gonna make sure that everyone else gets a turn, and so we're right there at the start of your turn, Chris. We'll be dealing with this neighbor.
Understood.
All right, Dave, back to you. You're inside. You've been looking through the bookcase and everything like that, pulling out the CDs. You found the note, but yeah, what do you do next?
I'm gonna take a look at this packet that Bartholomew just found.
Okay. All right, give me another D100 roll.
I also have Occult Religion. I don't know if that has any.
Oh,
Oh, that's not good.
yeah, no. Yeah, you find the top secret stuff, and you recognize it as a bunch of like small references to old blacklight operations, and you recognize a few of them, but you're not like as potentially occult, but not enough to like identify, okay, that's what they're dealing with here, to connect the dots. You just recognize, okay, this is definitely some of the information that the agency wanted to get rid of. Okay.
Yeah, I guess realizing it's a little out of my pay grade, I'd look around to see if somebody else wants to take a look.
Nice. Okay, that brings us to Manny. Anything you want to do? You hear?
Sorry, I didn't realize you guys couldn't hear me.
Yeah, that's all good.
I was gonna say, I had a question. Were we supposed to destroy any evidence we find of anything?
You're trying to gather.
Okay. All right, then. So I won't worry about that. I interrupted you saying I hear something. What was I gonna hear?
Yeah, you heard Bartholomew, BA3, out at the door. You hear him mentioning to somebody outside, as well as you hear the door from the main apartment buzz as she gains access into the apartment building, and you can hear her talking to something called a Mitzi.
And he was like, I probably shouldn't do anything about that. I think he's gonna want to head on over to the kitchen and take a look around like inside the cabinets or on the top of the fridge, see if there's anything that could be hidden anywhere or give any indication that maybe someone was even here before them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Give me.
What kind? Yeah.
Give me a just one more wisdom check, just to search the room.
All right, here we go. A 16.
Okay, you actually find a cereal box it's there, but it's actually completely empty except for a dull kind of thud inside, and when you pour it over, there's a phone inside of it, and it's just an old flip phone. It's cheap, whatever, and the cell phone opens up, and you look in the contacts, and there's only one number, but it just says unknown.
See. Oh, this isn't food. I think I'd like to walk over to MJ Rogers. Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers. This phone here, you know, it seems to have a number on it. I don't want to mess with it. I'm gonna hand it over to you since you seem a lot better with dealing with these kinds of things. And I pass him over the phone. And I think that's all Manny's gonna do. He's probably just gonna sit back at the wall and pay very close attention to what everyone is doing.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and that's going to bring us over to Lou. Hopefully we can hear you. If not, just let us know what you want to do at this moment. As you stand by the door with the keys, you've been able to see everything else that's been going on. Yeah, moving. Bartholomew's moving over to it. Okay, still not hearing you, so yeah, feel free to just type it out. And then we can go from there. Unfortunately, that audio is just not playing nice, and it's so sad. But it's okay. We're gonna get through it. Happy to have you.
Lou's typing it out.
Yep. Okay, perfect. He notices that Bartholomew's heading out to the door as well. He's out by the door, and so you go over to look at the table. So give me a D100 roll just to see what else you find. A 3. Okay.
I think that was just a D10.
That's true. We'll click on it one more time just to see. There we go. 34. That's good. Okay, so you actually, inside the documents, at the very back, you actually find a home and gardening magazine with an earmarked page related to deep cleaning, specifically deep cleaning stone.
I'm gonna step away just for a sec.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. So we'll just see what Lou has in response to that. And then, okay, yep. So you opening up that page, you see that it's kind of like a description. You know, obviously it's a home garden thing, so it's all cheery and peppy. But essentially, it's talking about how to deep clean stone and get rid of stains and other things. Like also, you know, all sorts of stuff to clear that out. So, and you have a few notes of like circles of supplies, like you got to get, you know, potentially bleach, you know, baking soda, vinegars, something to try, like heavy duty soap, brushes, and you can see Clyde has taken notes on potential supplies that he might need, as if he was studying how does he deep clean something. Okay. So we'll go. The cult nature of the docs are essentially that some of the things that he was studying reference a few books and a few things that you've seen some of this stuff before, as eldritch books, pagan rituals, incantations of the sorts, different folk legends of all sorts of dark and nefarious things as you study it out. And so, yeah, you can see that not only is he studying deep cleaning, he's studying some dark stuff within those documents. Okay. Let's come back over to the round comes back to me, and so we're gonna go back out to the hall, and we're gonna have, so you guys are all inside except for Bartholomew. So you guys are all inside the apartment, and this lady immediately kind of stops and introduces herself. He's like, "I've never seen you before. What are you doing in
Pleasure to meet you.
Mr.
Pleasure to meet you, ma'am. The name is Anderson. Thomas, you can call me. I was hired by Clive's son, Michael. We are the executor. My firm, which is Perkins and Matumbo, are executors of Mr. Bowman's will, and so we are going through the process of giving the effects to family members that are listed as items from his estate.
I thought for sure they would have waited until the family arrives. I just knew
At this delicate and aggrieved time, it has been handed off to my firm.
Okay. It's an odd. She kind of like peeks over your shoulder a little bit and sees the varied group of men, young and old. You're not all, most of you are in suits or things like that. So she perks her eyes up a little bit just to think, you guys don't look like lawyers.
Oh, at Perkins and Matumbo, we hire a diverse crew to take care of such things.
Okay. Give me a charisma check to continue to appease and persuade her otherwise.
Straight 6.
She kind of looks down at you as you're standing there, and she actually notices your sidearm. And she you can immediately tell that she's taken back. Again, concealed carries and everything like that are not, but yeah, it definitely puts her on edge a little bit that someone executing a will and gathering things would have a gun on them. She's like, it's.
I continue to maintain a pleasant shit-eating grin.
Yeah. So it was so. I guess she's very concerned. Just says, "Well, I guess it makes sense. It was unfortunate that."
Are you one of the persons named in the will, ma'am? What your name is?
I am. She kind of stumbles for a second. I'm Miss Janowitz. I'm just the neighbor. I when I heard about Clyde's death, it was, it kind of surprised us all. Well, he was old, but it was kind of out of nowhere. He was I thought was in good health. He went out riding his bike, walking the streets, and every day we said hello as we passed by. But it was so sad. No one found him for 3 days.
It very much seems like the family is still in a state of grief, and we are doing our very best to make this difficult time pass as smoothly as possible as they lay Clive to rest. And you're right across the hall, is that correct?
Just one down on the left.
All right, very good. I'll tell you what, we will be going through and contacting all of the folks who are listed, and if you really are his close neighbor, it's very likely that I may be getting a chance to speak with you again.
Okay. I appreciate your work, and hopefully all is well. Condolences to the family if I don't see them. And then
Very kind, very kind.
she kind of gives you a side eye, and you get the impression that she's satisfied, but you get the impression that she will definitely remember your face if anybody comes talking, and so she kind of walks away.
Understood.
Down to her apartment, and so I'm moving the exposure down from 5 to a 4, which means there may or may not be loose ends.
Bartholomew goes inside, closes the door, and sighs and says, "Sorry, guys."
It's all good. Okay. So anything else you want to do for your action, Bartholomew?
Bartholomew's done enough damage.
Okay. That brings us over to Mr. Rogers. You've just received a phone with an unknown number on it, a single phone that was hidden away in a cereal box from Manny. You've also pulled the USB drive from the computer, and so you have that on record. But is there anything you want to do?
Yes, I've got a phone on my own, right?
Yes.
And it's like phones have internet connections.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah. I attempt to look for the number online. The number that was saved in Clyde's phone as unknown.
Okay.
In order to figure out maybe who registered it or so.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to kind of trace it back, but unfortunately online it's also registered as an unknown number.
Great.
So
He just...
You want to try calling it?
No, not at the moment. He just puts it into his bag and... What shall we do now? You have mentioned a cabin outside? Is that maybe something we should visit? And he's looking to his fellow agents.
That's definitely an important place, I think, and it's good that we have the keys. I was curious from the keychain, what else did we see? We had a storage unit?
Storage unit / shed kind of a thing. And then you had a tank. It was just listed as tank. And then you had case and spare apartment key. And I'm probably as well, probably a spare car key, but no worries there.
Did we notice when we came up on the building, it looked like a, street side brownstone. There didn't sound like there's anything on these premises that would be storage unit / shed.
No. Yeah, and the only information that you found related to other properties was the cabin. So perhaps
that's what it sounds like. So maybe there's a shed out at the cabin as well.
Yeah, that's a fair conclusion. Yeah, so you do have the address to the cabin. So once you finish here, which you've combed through everything, and so you've found most of the stuff here, most if not all the stuff. So you should be able to head to the cabin if you wish.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers readies himself for leaving the apartment.
Okay.
Before leaving, Fitz heads over to this old phone and picks it up and hits *67.
*67. Why do you hit those numbers?
It used to
read
read you off the last number dialed.
Okay. Okay, so you actually it dials back and clicks in to a hotline, kind of a counseling hotline, and they kind of answer, and it's like, Hello, Mr. Bowman. Is that you? It's been a few days since your last call.
I say nothing. I remain silent. I put my finger to my lips for everybody in the room.
Hello, Mr. Bowman. Are you all right? I can't hear you. Is everything okay?
I wait another couple beats, and if they don't say anything else, I hang up.
Okay. Yeah, they just kind of are again. Are you okay? Do we need to call? Are you helped? Do we need to send someone over? We can contact the police.
All right, sorry, fellas. We might need to go. I might have inadvertently alerted. I don't know, a counseling program, or maybe he had health issues that he was contacting these people about. I don't know. Yeah, I might have shortened our window.
Understood. I grab a rag from the kitchen, try to give everything the quickest wipe down I can.
Okay. All right. That brings us to.
I do take the briefcase with me.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. That brings us to Dry Scythe.
Well, seeing as we've probably been compromised, I'll probably take my first sleeve out. I would just turn to everybody saying, "Well, guys, I think we've overstayed our welcome here. I think we've got some information. We probably should hold on to that phone, and let's get out of here." And I pull my hat down, and I want to try to walk out the building, kind of unnoticed, stealthily, if I can.
Yeah, give me a dex.
6, and I have a 3 in my deck, so I still don't make it.
Nope.
That's a 9.
Unfortunately, like you said, people took notice of you guys coming in, and they've taken notice of you heading out, and so we're gonna make sure the exposure is down to a 3, which is a little bit more than loose ends, but not enough that that the public is fully aware of what you're doing, and you're getting pretty close to drawing major attention to yourself, but
That's a cool mechanic.
so you can make efforts to bump that back up, but for right now in this space, a few people have taken notice, and you're probably right. They might be limited time before someone ends up over here.
Yeah, we should beat it, guys.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys, let's just double check with hopefully Lou. Any final things you want to do? Okay, heading out with the group. That's great. So you guys all quickly clean up, grab the things, head back to the street, lock up, and peel out. As you guys move away and merge back into traffic and past the other cars and through the narrow streets, you actually, after a few blocks, you see a police car. It doesn't have its lights on or anything like that, but you can see that it's making its way back towards what you presume to be Clyde's apartment. Okay, so you then begin heading out towards the cabin. It is kind of getting late. You started your mission at 2 p.m. and you've spent several hours kind of getting here, investigating, clearing out papers and things like that through the apartment. So it is getting kind of late. Do you guys want to stop for dinner, or do you guys want to push forward to the cabin?
Probably pushing forward to the cabin is better to go there during night, not to draw that much attention.
I agree.
I've got some power bars. We can push through.
Okay.
Yeah, I think even though we did get a mention that Clive was a regular diner patron at the local joint, I guess. Wasn't that mentioned?
Yeah.
That's remembering good call.
So we'll keep that on the back burner, but I agree with the guys. Fitz, drive casual so we don't get pulled over, and let's get out to the cabin.
Perfect. Okay, so you guys push on. It's getting late and dark, but eventually you're able to make it to the cabin. It's a few miles off the main road, but you see that it's just kind of settled into the back of the woods, and we're gonna bump the exposure die back up to just a 4 to indicate that there's some loose ends out there, but you're not under threat at the moment. And so what we're gonna do is from there is, so you have the basic cabin. It's decently sized. It's spread out in the trees. You've got the main floor that you can go inside. You can also head down to the back as well. You see underneath there seems to be some containment areas, an enclosed door or storage space underneath the deck, as well as you see kind of in the background around the corner you see an outhouse, a couple 10 or 20 meters away from the house, and so we can let you guys decide how you guys want to approach in. You can head directly inside, you can wander around back, you can stay by the car, you can stay in the car, but let's roll initiative just to switch things up since we're now at the cabin. So everyone just give me a d20 and then we'll just rearrange initiative. So Dave Fitz. Chris. Alright, so looks like Lou's going to go first, start of the round, followed by Dave and Dry Scythe. Manny needs to give me there, and then Chris, I think you got...
I was 16.
You were 15?
16.
Okay, so you're second. So then Dave Fitz, just give me one more roll.
I rolled a 12 after the 15.
Oh, and
What?
Dave rolled a 12 as well. One more time.
Here. There we go. That'll settle it.
Yep, that will settle the dispute between who goes third and who goes fourth, but it's okay. And then finally we have Mr. Rogers at the back. All right, so Lou, you get to go first. How do you approach the cabin? You can go in, you can go around, you can stay by the car.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
And then it cuts out. It's so funny that I can always hear you when you say, can you hear me? But then nothing.
I'm sorry you're having trouble, bud, but I'm glad you're sticking it out.
Oh, there it is. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Yes.
Wow. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably just have to maybe speak up. I don't know. So I'm not hearing you now again, but I see you're heading over to this little gas can. And the thing
I'm
is,
just taking it as RP. His character's strangely quiet.
that's okay. Yeah, so he's heading over to this gas can, and the thing is underneath the deck, right next to the storage unit, is probably about 10 of of these containers. Some of them bigger and around, and so there's just a collection of gas cans, some filled, some empty, but there's probably a good 20-30 gallons spread out between the different containers, and they're all sitting next to the storage unit, which is there. You can also see on one of the kind of back Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, you just see that the storage unit has a bit of a lock on it, and so. Yes, you do. You do have a key from the lock, so you can open it and you can see inside. There's like a snowblower. You can see that there's some gardening tools, an axe. You can see that there's some dry wood for a fire, a tent. Old supplies and things there. So pretty much, if you can think of something, you probably have some basic camping equipment available in that space next to the cans as well. So that will be a blanket kind of supplies, and so if you can make an argument that would be found within a shed, I'll totally allow it. Okay. Brings us back to Bartholomew.
So I've been carrying ever since I got to the place this 26-inch duffel bag. I unzip it and screw the barrel on the 590 12 gauge I'm carrying.
Ooh.
And I just give a listen while I'm at the car and a look around just to see if I see any signs of recent activity or somebody around.
Okay, give me a wisdom check. Probably make it easy.
Mod 14.
Okay, you see the signs that no one has been here for probably about 2 months, was your guess. Seems to be fairly undisturbed. You hear the birds tweeting in the trees, the wind blowing through the leaves, and at most you may hear kind of like a dull, real quiet thud, but not quite sure what.
Inside? Is that...
No. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's coming from inside, but you're not quite sure what it was. Just kind of a different noise to the rest of the landscape.
Maybe I take a slow reconnoiter clockwise around the foundation where you see the raised deck and just take a little walk around the...
Okay. Yep. So you see everything kind of labeled out. You see some of the plumbing seems to have been capped off, leading away from the house. And you can see that the house itself, the cabin itself, is connected to the electrical grid. It has a well that it's pumping into from other pipes, but pipes leading out from the cabin seem to be capped off, as well as you have the outhouse to the back. You also see kind of a hatch buried in the ground but exposed a little ways next to the outhouse.
Okay. I post up where I am. I look back at the car. I whistle over to Rogers, Manny, and Fitz.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. That's going to bring us to Manny.
So Manny is, coming out of the car, looking over towards the whistle, throwing my hands up in the air like, "What's up? What you calling for?"
And I just muzzle the hatch on the ground.
Yeah, so I guess I come take a look at it. Can I see anything about the hatch? Try opening it or something?
So you see this kind of cement hatch in the ground. It's pretty heavy duty, and you actually see that it's locked with this really nice lock, and the hinges are all oiled, but everything seems to be pretty heavy duty, and so you can't open it without breaking through the lock. But again, you hear that thud. 4, 8, 15, 16.
And we do have a tank key.
Yes, you do have a tank key.
Sorry, just couldn't resist the Lost reference.
Nice. Yeah, so you do have a tank key, and so this may be related to that. Yeah, maybe a septic tank. That's what you're assuming, but it doesn't seem to be connected to the house.
I would like to head, if I can still do it, I would like to head for the outhouse.
Okay.
Check it out.
Okay, so I don't have a picture for the outhouse, but essentially, the outhouse is a plain outhouse. It smells terribly. It's kind of cleared out, nothing fresh. But yeah, it's just kind of has basic toilet paper in the side. It's set into the ground. You can see that it leads down into a pit. So again, you have a septic tank, and then next to it you have an outhouse.
Alright. I mean, I feel like, just getting the brain juices flowing, If you wanted to hide something, you'd want to hide it in a place nobody wants to go in, and I definitely don't want to be here. So, outhouse in the middle of the woods? Dear gosh. Is there any way I could, maybe make a roll to do a horribly deeper check?
Yeah, go for it.
Would that be a wisdom?
Do a Constitution check.
Constitution. $11.
Okay. Yeah, you do a horribly deeper check. I'm going to ask you to make a sanity save. So that's a wisdom roll.
8.
All right. So take 1 point of sanity damage.
Alright.
But yeah, you do not find anything in the outhouse.
Understood. And I think I'll stop. I'll pass it over.
Okay.
There.
Perfect. That's great. Dave, Fitz, it's your turn.
He gets in his duffel and sloves the Glock in his back waistband and his brass knuckles in his pocket, and grabs a bat and takes a nip of the bottle of whiskey, puts the bag away, and then heads over to where Bartholomew is at.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes that does that when I change scene as you're moving things.
Apologies.
So yeah, so Bartholomew right now, and we're gonna move everybody who's not there. Yeah, so you do have the key. You can totally open it, and again, you hear this thud, and you almost think you hear something else as you get closer to the tank, and you kind of fiddle around and talk next to it.
We going in, BA3?
I lean down and I say, hello.
And you hear through the cement what you think to be a hello?
Yeah, we're definitely opening that.
Yeah, we're going in. Fitz has got the keys, and I'm covering him with the shotgun.
Okay. So with the key, you slide it into the oiled lock. You clicks, it opens up, and the hinges pull open without a sound. And again, you don't smell what you expect to be in a septic tank. You don't smell refuse and other things, but you do smell what smells like rotted flesh. It's dark, it's wet. The ladder leading down is gone. Do either of you have a light?
There was a flashlight in my go bag. I didn't grab it from the car necessarily. I'm not sure how action economy works. So.
Yeah, no, you're
And I
good.
do not have one.
Okay, well, you do have a flashlight, so you can, if you look closely into that black area, like with the light, as you look closely, you might actually see something. You hear hello, hello,
Out.
and you see you see a face, what appears to be a female face down in the bottom of the tank.
Is it incorporeal or?
No, it's there. She's real. She looks very not dismembered, but like just what's the right word? She does not look well. Disheveled, very misshapen even. Her skin is hanging in weird ways. It's all red and pussy and bulgy and waterlogged, and like everything is sunken and deep. There's scabs and open wounds.
On a hunch, Bartholomew calls out, Marlene?
Yes. I'm Marlene. Who are you? It's been so long.
Friend.
It's been so long since I've seen the light. It's hard to see.
Who's got a rope?
I don't think I've got anything we can use.
Okay.
I have a survival. Is it possible for me to maybe try to cobble together something using things I find in the woods?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure. Yeah, if you have a survival expertise, you probably have a rope as well. I think that'd be a fair thing. Or in the shed. The
sure.
shed. There's probably some ropes.
All right then. Yeah. Grab those and pass them over so they can throw it down.
We call for the other guys.
Okay. So you guys come over to does everybody head over that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I figure I'm already there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're gonna be able to pull everybody. Use the rope. Everyone's over by the septic tank. I'm gonna move back to just the exterior of the cabin, and kind of down this way a little bit. And together we're gonna keep going with Mr. Rogers' turn. But together you're able to work and able to eventually pull Marlene out of the septic tank. And you can see when she comes out, it is horrific. So here's kind of what she looks like in the daylight. So everybody give me a sanity save.
Oh boy, here goes my sanity.
Yes.
Mod 6.
14.
Okay, so everybody who did not make it, take 5 points of sanity damage. She is messed up and grotesque, and it appears that she has been in there for quite some time.
Very good. Is this something that applies strictly to the sanity heart, or can it go to a bond?
It can go to a bond if you wish, but it's totally up to you.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. Anyways, so you're able to pull her out, and she thanks you. Like, I've been down there for so long. My husband, he did something to me. He did something to me and wanted to keep me here forever. And something happened, and he kept me down there, and I've been there for who knows how long. And if you remember, Clyde's wife, Marlene,
Died 20 years ago.
died 20 years ago, according to the records.
Whew. Can I ask her? Do you remember anything about what happened the night that he put you here?
I just remember I died, I thought, and I woke back up. He told me I died, and I woke back up here in the cabin, but something went wrong. We were in the basement, and he didn't like what happened, and it wasn't long before he put me in this tank and has kept me here for years. He'd come and talk occasionally, but never let me out.
When did you talk to your husband the last time?
About 2 months ago. I think it's so hard to tell. I kept track of the days as best I can, but the whole inside is filled with scratches, and you can see that her fingers are completely worn and bloody and down to the bone, as if the skin has kind of slubbed off.
Mr. Rogers just walks away a couple of steps and takes a good sip out of his whiskey bottle.
Definitely.
And then you can see, or not see, you can hear him, oh boy, taking another sip and then closing the bottle and taking it back to his backpack.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anywhere else you want to move, Mr. Rogers?
Just away from the woman.
Okay.
Probably somewhere in between the woman and the car.
That's fair. Yeah, she says, thank you. She's really grateful. I need to rest. I need to eat. I need, the sun is so bright.
Just have a seat in the shade, ma'am.
Thank you. And she kind of sits down, and again, you just see all of the pus and the skin and just kind of flapping across her skeletal frame, waterlogged and red. Okay.
Oh, it's Professor.
I'm quite stunned from that one.
All right, I'm going to start back up at Lou. We have a timer of 2, just so you know. Lou, you have witnessed the reappearance of Marlene, who seems to have been kept captive in the septic tank for the last 20 years. What do you do? So you're not quite sure what happened. Maybe there's more information inside the cabin. All Marlene remembers is that she woke up on the floor of the basement of the cabin, and Clyde said that he'd tried to do something to her, but it didn't work. It had failed, and that he wasn't happy about it. he couldn't let her go. He had to keep her forever, and so he put her in the septic tank to hold on to her. Yeah, she kind of starts talking about. I remember this cabin used to be such a fun place, but now I can't even bear to look at it. Okay, perfect. You can start heading in. All right, that brings us to Bartholomew.
Bartholomew is clearly shaken and doesn't know what to make of the woman who should be dead. But he is keeping an eye. He looks at Fitz and tells him with a look to keep his eye on her and lead her inside. Goes to the door. Who's got the keys? He still has the shotgun, and he still has his duffel bag full of other goodies.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, we
And
can
we're
get
gonna
the key in, so I'll let
approach
you
the
go.
door and with whomever at my side, we'll go inside.
Okay. So yeah, we'll start you out inside for ease. So yeah, inside you can actually see that it's kind of a retro thing. It's lit. It's kind of cold because no one's been there. The windows are open. Everything seems to be second hand. You see some pills on the counter. You see a chest near the end table. You can see that there's a big rug on the floor as well. And so is there something you want to look at for the end of your turn?
Let me go ahead and just take my foot and flick the rug back just to see if I see a basement trapdoor.
Got it. Where is... Okay. Yes, you do, because as you flick open the rug, you see that there's a hatch in the floor, leading presumably down.
Guys, I got something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it's not locked, so you can open it, and you can see that it does lead down into the cellar.
I will pause and turn it over to my good friend.
Perfect. Well, Manny, do you stay outside with Marlene, or do you come inside with Bartholomew, or do you bring Marlene and everybody back inside?
I would like to take her to the car,
Okay.
and I'll just tell her, "Don't worry, we'll get you some help." And I'll get her into the back seat of the car. I'll tell her to wait here and don't open the door for anybody, and I'll lock all the doors in the car.
Okay.
And I'll head back inside. See, I'm sure, I'll tell everyone I put her in the car. Observe the room, see that there's the hatch on the floor. Look around. Said, all right, so obviously that leads someplace. I just want to take a quick look around the room. So you said we have a chest, and what else was in there?
So there's a chest, a drawer, a big kind of foot locker, and some pills on the countertop.
I'm not very good at recognizing medicine, so before anything about the hatch, I'd like to take a look at the chest.
Yep. So
carefully.
for sure. So you see that it's there as well, and you actually see that it has some symbols and kind of inscriptions of subtle references to blacklight. But on top, you actually see there's an envelope with the words to whom it may concern.
Well, as I see it, guess it concerns me.
Okay.
So I'd like to open it.
Okay, this is what you see, and I'll drop it into the chat as well. So it says, To whom it may concern, if you are reading this note, I can assume I have died or become incapacitated before I had the courage to complete my final mission. You will find about 20 gallons of gas in the shed behind the cabin. Pour it into the septic tank beside the cabin and ignite it. You'd be happier if you didn't look inside. Please make sure that the remains are kept for my children. I am so sorry. God, please forgive me. Clyde Boehm.
I think you're way beyond forgiveness, buddy.
I think we're way beyond lighting anything on fire.
Yeah, as usual, I messed up my orders of operations.
What was that, Fitz?
We messed up our order of operations. But it's alright.
Okay.
Alright. Is there I think I've read like the letter out loud to everybody. And then I set it down on the table carefully, and then I'd like to check to make sure there's nothing inside this trunk.
So when you open it, and we'll end your turn as you open it, you see that it's full of other mementos very clearly related to Blacklight. This seems to be Clyde's Blacklight chest of documents, items, things like that. And so you'll be able to roll and see what's inside it. Anybody who wants to spend their turn looking through that. Okay, that
Should I roll
brings
now or wait my next turn?
let's wait. No, you can roll first one. I'll give it to you. So give me a D8 roll.
This is the I got an 8.
Okay, I'm going to drop it in to the chat. Essentially, you find a sizable file regarding the Ventaja Corporation. It's about a firm back in 65 to 68. So it's a documentation file about a blacklight surveillance approach.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that brings us to Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers just enters the cabin as soon as the line with "I'm so sorry, God please forgive me" was read out loud, and he's standing there just looking a bit confused, and then seeing the trapdoor on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody an idea where this one leads us?
It leads down to the cellar.
Okay, so he walks towards the trapdoor, goes on his knees and lays his ear onto the trapdoor in attempt to hear something.
Okay, give me a wisdom check.
Mod 11. Not enough.
Not enough. Okay, you want to do anything else? You want to open it?
No, he's just waiting until he hears something and being patient.
Okay. All right. I'm going to reduce the timer down to 1. And that's it. So back to Lou. You're back inside. Checking out the pills, perfect. So yeah, there's just an open bottle of pills, a couple things there and available. There are not any kind of description about them. The bottle doesn't even have a label on it. So you have a couple pills that you're welcome to take if you want, or you can pocket them and save them for later. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'll let you do so that you can grab that, And then, yeah. Any other things you want to do if you want to move over to the trap door? Perfect. You give me an easy wisdom check, since Rogers is also listening. Together. Perfect. Yep. So the only thing you hear is maybe a little bit of a small like scratching, but nothing like large or major. Seem to be quiet. Okay. That brings us to Bartholomew.
All right, flip it, guys. Let's open it. My gun is ready.
Okay.
Shotgun.
Nice. So you open it, and again, it opens up, and you just see this dark kind of staircase leading down into the cellar. You hear a little drip, drip, little scratching, but you don't see anything. But you're welcome to head straight down if you wish.
I've got two-handed weapon with no light, unfortunately. So if somebody wants to illuminate for me, I'll tread down.
Okay.
I got you.
Perfect.
Yes, of course. And
Yeah.
I'll just take my flashlight and aid him.
Yep. As you get to the bottom of the stairs, you actually see a light switch that you can flick on, and it brings up this one kind of incandescent bulb, and you see that the stone and everything is kind of faded and water, as if it's been flooded a couple times. But you see that in the back there's a set of bookcases, a few more kind of boxes and bags, and you see a rat kind of chewing at one of the bags, eating into something. As well as you see some scratches and things on the floor.
I quickly sling the shotgun, draw the Glock, and in this cement basement, I pop off one round at the rat to see if I can get it.
Okay, give me a dex check.
Mod 15.
Yep. Pop. Dead rat.
And
But
when
it
we
is-
all can hear again.
Yep, it is quite loud. Okay. Then we'll bring it over to Manny. So you've seen Bartholomew and Mr. Rogers, and I'm presuming Lou as well, head down. Do you stay up stairs, or do you head downstairs?
I'll head down. I'm headed down with them.
Okay. Perfect. What do you want to do down here?
Well, I think first thing is checking like the walls and stuff. Like, is there some shelves or spaces in the walls, books or something?
Yeah, there's some bookcases over on the far side.
There we are. Yeah. I'd like to just like take a quick, look through, see if there's any titles. Do I roll something for that?
No, you can just do it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just looking through the titles, see if there's anything that pops out.
Okay. So what you find inside is you see several very dark looking books bound with strange leather, and as you flick them open you see very grotesque images and stuff. So let me grab that real quick. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Many of which are kind of like occult books, all talking about the same thing, about prolonging life. They seem to be incantations, spell books, rituals, talking about the expansion and idea of immortality through dark means. So give me a sanity save.
All right. 3.
Okay. You take 2 points of sanity damage, but you are able to discern just from the collection that Clyde has been researching dark incantations and rituals, most likely to perform some way to preserve life.
Foolish man's endeavor. Can I, when it comes to sanity, can I put this one out of my bonds?
Yes, of course.
And is that just going to be 2 points out of the bonds,
Yes.
or is that
2 points.
okay? So, I'm going to take it out of the Drake Steak, the diner that I'm a regular at.
Nice. Okay.
That ends it for me.
Yep. Finally, Mr. Rogers. Oh no, sorry, Fitz. Apologize.
No worries. I think Fitz is still upstairs. I'm going to grab that chair that's near the door and jam it under the latch of the door if I can.
Okay.
Nice.
If it won't actually bar it, like if the door opens the other way, I'm hoping to at least so it'll fall and make noise.
No, I'd say it bars
Very
it.
good. And then, if time allows, I'll go down to the basement.
Okay. So we'll drop in a basic chair. Do. That's a terrible chair, but don't mind me.
It's a good
that's
one.
great, man. That was fast. This VTT is really slick.
I really enjoy it. Just give all your praises to Glocka.
Indeed.
So yeah, so you head back downstairs, and so we'll use that chair as your action, but you'll be able to be downstairs as well.
Works for me.
Okay, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, Mr. Rogers also climbs down to the basement, and as soon as he recognizes the glyph on the floor, he walks a bit closer with the clear intent of not touching it at all, and pulls out a small piece of paper and a pen and does his best to mimic the glyph on his paper.
Okay.
In order to maybe check it on another day.
For sure. Yeah, we don't have to roll for that one. You can just make a copy.
Yeah, he takes his entire turn and takes time to make it as good as possible.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Timer's going to drop down to 0. Everybody give me a wisdom check.
Hey, another 3.
Mod 5.
Mod 14.
Okay.
Mod 14.
Okay, so everybody who beat the target hears a car pulling up. Okay. They hear a car pulling up, and you hear the door opening and closing from behind. So what I need is everybody now. Everybody to make a panic roll, and those who did not hear it, it's going to be hard.
What do you roll for panic again?
I'm pulling it up real quick. Let me just make sure I'm following through with that. So what you do is you roll a d12 against your own personal sanity level. If you roll equal to or under your current sanity, you don't panic. If you roll higher, you take a panic. So everybody roll a d12 and then compare it to your heart of sanity, which I'm pretty sure everyone has full of. So you need to roll under that number.
Successful.
Dope.
I made it.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, I made it.
All right.
Oof.
So
I rolled 1 above.
yep. Okay. So Fitz, I need you to roll a d20 plus your heart of your plus a 10 because you have a full heart. So give me a d20 plus 10.
Mod 28.
Okay. So even though the panic sets in for a moment, you're able to kind of lock in to your training and to what you've been working on and all that kind of just emotional strength that you've been building up over your life, and you actually enter into the zone a little bit. And so for the next 2 rounds, all of your rolls are going to be easy.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay. But yeah. So
Just
anyways,
one quick look around. Are there any other means of egress that are immediately apparent, like a daylight basement window, Claire's story type of thing?
no, everything seems to be pretty contained in here.
Okay, even on the side that's downslope, where the porch level was elevated.
Sorry, maybe I'm not understanding. What exactly are you looking for?
Just there's this is a basement is even on the side that is exposed outside has no windows or doors or means of egress.
Yes, the only way in is through the trapdoor.
Okay, understood.
Okay. All right, so you can actually, so as it comes back around, you hear the door shut, and you hear the whatever, and you actually hear, like, someone, you don't hear anybody yelling or anything, but after a second, you actually hear somebody, like, shaking on the door above you. It says, "Open up! Open up! This is the police!" Okay, that's going to bring us to Lou. You're all down in the basement with the police knocking at your door. You have a grotesquely deformed person in the car outside.
Oh,
That may raise a question or two.
Yeah, so you head up inside, and you see on the other side of the door the cop shaking, and you can actually see him like looking in the window, and he has his gun drawn. He sees you. He sees you, and he's like, "Open this door, or I'll open this door." Sorry, let me grab the card. Sorry, gotta find it in my stack of things. Okay, that's gonna take too long to find it. Oh, there it is. Wrong folder. Yeah, he opens. He's like, "I demand that you open this door. I will shoot." You have, I have, kind of a thing. He's like, you're very, very trying to take command of what's going on. And so we're going to turn the exposure down to 2.
Do we hear him say that?
You probably hear a little bit. Lou responds and yells at him to get out of here if he doesn't want to see that he doesn't want to see what's in here. And give me a charisma roll, Lou, because that's definitely not what he wants to hear. Okay. Yep. So you can see him immediately phoning in to he's whatever, and you assume that he's calling for backup. So we're gonna roll another timer. So in 3 rounds, police backup will arrive, and you can see that he still has his gun out drawn. Okay. That brings us to Bartholomew.
I'm still down in the basement.
Yes.
Does the basement extend to underneath the deck outside
No, it doesn't.
where the policeman is?
No, it doesn't.
That's gonna make things hard.
Good thinking, though.
And Fifth has the keys to the car.
Yes.
Does the car have? Did I notice that the car has keyless entry? Like that you could make it go blip.
Yeah, you probably have
when you lock.
You probably have a key fob.
I tell Fitz to make the car alarm go off or blip it or do whatever it is. As I
hit the panic button.
Yeah, as I move to the darkest shadow that I can in the area directly underneath the front door.
Okay.
That is the inside of the front door.
Okay, we can do that. All right.
And that's about all I can do.
Yeah, Fitz says good call and hits the button.
Okay, yep. And Lou sees the cop all of a sudden jump and he probably, let's see, does he fire a shot or not? He does not fire a shot. But he kind of turns towards the car and for a moment to see what's happening. Good move. All right. Manny.
Let's see. What can Manny really do here? Well, I guess I go up. The cop right now is spooked, right? He turned away from the door for a sec?
Yes, for just a moment. So he's looking at the car.
So I'm assuming that while while with all the commotion going on, I've kind of come upstairs, peeking out, trying to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I see that the cop turned away for a sec. Is it possible for me to just pull my gun out and shoot through the window at him?
You definitely can.
I mean, look, we're not doing a very good job of keeping our presence down.
Yeah.
Alright, so that'll be a dex roll, right?
Yes. It will also... Okay.
Nice.
So you do hit him.
I think there was some rules about hitting somebody unaware.
Let me...
Or was that just an item? I can't remember.
Let me see.
I think that might have just been an item.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, if you're aiming to hit, you hit.
Alright. And now I can roll some gun effort?
Yep, roll some gun effort.
That's a 1d8, right?
Yes. Plus your effort bonus.
So that's a 10. I hit him for 10 damage.
Okay. You drop him. I also need you to make a sanity save for attacking the police.
I mean, that's gonna go straight into somebody else. Yeah, I'll make a sanity save. Alright, 4.
Okay, I need you to take... well, 1 point of damage. We'll take the first one, and then give me a d12 roll for panic.
Okay, so wait, I took 1 point of sanity out?
Yes.
Alright, let me just take that out of my favorite local bar. Sorry, diner. And then I need to do a panic?
Yep, d12. Roll under your heart. Of sanity.
That's higher.
Yep, it is. So one last roll. D20 plus your sanity, so D20 plus 10.
20 plus 10.
Again,
19.
You're in the zone. You're calm and focused. All your rolls are easy for the next
All
3
right.
rounds.
Am I in a panic state though?
No, you're in the zone. You're able to
Okay, I'm in
to
the
zone
zone.
in. Yeah.
Oof. All right. So then, is there anything I can do right now, or is that it for
Nope,
me?
that's it.
All right.
Okay.
Then we end. Let's get out of here, guys.
All
Pitter
right,
patter. Let's get out of here.
Mr. Rogers or Dave. Again, I keep sorry that I keep jumping the gun. I'm not. I apologize. I know you're still here. It's just I read the bottom order wrong. Anyways, Fitz.
All right. We are running short on time. I heard that gunshot. I don't hear return fire, but I assume backup is on the way.
Mm,
I'm going to defer to Bartholomew because he's just been making good decisions. Man, what should I do? I'm freaking out here.
Grab those books and load this duffel bag.
Roger. And I just start shuffling as much as I can into the duffel bag.
perfect. So now
And
you
if you need to, you can pull out that M4 carbine to make room and arm yourself with suppressive fire option.
All right. I toss the bat to the side to not have it in my way and take that gun instead to make room in the bag. I pack as much as I can.
okay, excellent.
So we load up on it. There's as much of the occult stuff as we can find in here, and load the bag and get ready to roll.
Perfect. Okay, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers heard the shot and
Yep.
starts climbing down upwards towards the actual cabin. Walks outside to the veranda and sees the dead police officer lying there with probably blood everywhere.
Yep.
And just is shocked and freezes for a moment.
All right.
What? And just stumbles and is unable to do something.
Yep. Give me a sanity save.
This is not a success.
No. You take 4 points of sanity damage.
Oh yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. So your timer drops down to 2. You have 2 rounds before the police arrive. You can hear the comm actually like talking, trying to like get this cop's attention, but obviously he can't respond. So you have 2 rounds essentially. We're gonna do these quick, but before the cops arrive, what do you guys want to do? You've got the chest. You've grabbed the pills already. And your car is still sitting there with Marlene in the back. Sorry, you're really muffled there, Chris, if you're talking.
I beg your pardon. Guys, it's crunch time. I think we got to make the hard move. I move to the car.
Okay, you're gonna.
No, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I don't move to the car. I'm gonna try one last ditch thing. If you guys are, so I look at the guy's badge number and name.
Okay. So
And
upstairs as well.
And I grab his comms as I move to the police car.
Okay.
I'm trying to look for a unit number.
Okay, let me grab a police car. Yeah. In the meantime, while you're doing that, Lou, don't want to forget you. What are you doing as well? Where's Okay. Yeah, just make up a number and you can okay, Lou's heading towards the car. You can see Marlene in the back. She seems to be slumped over a little bit, tired, and just kind of still. So yeah, make up a number. Are you getting in the car, Lou? Or are you just standing next to the car? Okay, he's gonna wait outside. Perfect. Yeah, and if there's anything that you want to do, let me. We can work through that as well.
Since I'm at the car and I have the cop's comms, use his name and I just say, 1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12. This is, base. This is 1 Adam 12, and it's like this is Sergeant Smith responding. Is like false alarm. A bunch of tweakers.
Okay, give me a charisma roll to be persuasive and make sure you're imitating. You're at least getting it through.
Dang it. I was really hoping that would work.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I was convinced.
That was pretty good, but yep, it's the person on the backside is like, this isn't Officer Smith. Who are you? And so the exposure is down to 1.
and I go ahead and drop the radio on the ground, shoot it with the gat, and say, "Boring conversation anyway."
Okay. All right. Well, timer's still at 2. You don't hear the chatter anymore. Okay, that brings us to Manny.
Alright, so Manny's gonna dish out some orders real quick. Okay, guys, I've done this before. First off, I need somebody to help me out. We need to destroy this place, make it look like there's a fight that happened here, struggle, robbery. We can make it look like some squatters were here. A police officer walked in. There was a fight. Simple as that. So, one thing that he would like to do, if possible, is maybe ask help from another member and then make a roll to destroy the house, maybe fire off even a couple bullets to make it look like there was a bit of a shootout from
Sure.
both the cop's gun and his gun.
Yeah.
Is all of that possible?
Yeah, that's fine. Give me just an intelligence check. You also have gasoline in the basement.
I don't want to start a fire. I'm trying to set a scene.
All right.
This is a forest. Look how beautiful this place is.
A burning scene might not be a bad idea, though.
17.
Yep. So you together, you in your training, you're all able to set the scene really well. You make it look like there was a fight. You look like there was, this encounter, this kind of incident between the cops, and so everything was set up. So we'll bump that back up to 2.
And the one last thing I would like to say is Roger's who's still in the house? Was anyone still in the house?
No, there's nobody
Yep.
there.
I think everyone's outside.
Then I would like to... Is it possible for me to grab the trunk that says the name of our organization on it before we go?
Absolutely. You want to load that into the car?
Yeah, I'd like to load that into the car, and that's it. Get in the car and be like, let's get out of here. I'll stay by the miss in the car. Maybe I've grabbed a blanket from the house to wrap her up in, since I was the person who wasn't really too badly affected by her, and I'll just sit in the car next to her.
All right. Give me a wisdom roll as you sit in next to her.
Wrapping her in the blanket. Okay. Dang! 15!
No, that's good.
I thought I had to make a roll for sanity. I don't know what was going on for me.
No,
sorry.
You're good. Yeah. No, you're able to do that. You can see that she's pretty kind of passed out at the moment. She doesn't even respond to you kind of wrapping her up.
Alright. So that ends it for me. I'll pass it on to Fitz.
Yep, go for it. Dave, Fitz.
Fitz runs for the car. On his way by the police car, he tries to see if it's outfitted with video equipment.
Yep, yeah, it has a dash cam.
We're gonna have to ditch this car soon, fellas.
Let's blame it.
He tries to do a cool slide across the hood.
Nice.
Nice.
Get in the driver's seat.
You get in the driver's seat. Okay. All right.
Is this cabin on a lake? Is this cabin on a lakeside?
No, it's just in the
I was
woods.
just wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, actually, no. Hold on. I don't really know. So I'm gonna roll binary. If it's a skull, it's not what you want. If it's blank, it is what you want.
Fair.
Ah,
Okay. So no lake.
We can flame it.
Yeah.
The cop car.
that sounds like a good idea.
Well, yeah. Yeah, because I guess, that footage would be in the car
Mm-hmm.
and not, like, I don't know how that shit works.
It
I assume
probably
maybe that-
would be. It probably isn't live. They would probably have to recover it.
Right, right. So, yeah, burn that.
We could rip the camera footage out of the car, and then if there's anything left behind, burn the rest of it. Because I'd feel better with the footage on us. You know what I mean?
True. Hedge our
Whose
bets.
turn is it?
It is. It's Mr. Rogers.
Oh, it's Mr. Rogers. Sorry.
What about the woman? Will we take her with us? Not sure if that's...
I'd leave her with the dead cop.
We'd have to kill her. They'd tell whoever police come here that we
I
were here.
open the car door and offer the woman to get out. My lady, please follow me.
As you open the door, she completely slumps and falls to the ground, unmoving.
Okay, I drag her out.
Yep. She's completely just dead weight.
Well,
What to do with her?
Bartholomew will help Rogers drag her up onto the porch next to the dead cop.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should destroy the body entirely. It's probably too suspicious. And he's looking towards the tank and the gasoline things.
is there enough gasoline to light both, like, to put her in the thing, you know, the sword thing? Light that on fire and light the cop car on fire?
Probably. 20
And
gallons.
I think we should do that. We can put her back in the tank, light it on fire, and then remove the camera from the cop car and light the cop car on fire.
I'm good with that.
Okay. That's going to take a round. And so,
It's warm up that car.
so
Winter.
we have one round left before the cop's car. You can actually hear sirens coming. Lou is saying maybe we take the cop car and make the cops split up pursuing us. Give him a chase.
I think at this point we already set it on fire, though.
Yeah. Well, so this round, everyone's going to get an action before the cops arrive. So we're going to just go real quick. Lou, you've heard the plans. You know the cops are coming. What do you do? Okay, he's going to help light things on fire. So he's going to grab the gasoline. Gasoline. Dump that on the cop car. All right. So then, moving up, Bartholomew, what are you doing?
I make sure that the car is loaded with all the materials that we selected. I switch to the M4, get the extra magazine ready, and ride shotgun for a fit.
Okay, so you're getting in the car rather than helping with lighting things on fire, or you're helping and then you're getting in the car.
Yeah, I was making sure everything was loaded and I'm armed.
Okay.
Differently armed.
Okay. Perfect. Manny, what are you doing?
if possible, I'd like to take care of lighting the lady on fire in the pit,
Okay.
and then going back to the car, like inside the car, if I can do that.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect. And then, Dave, Fitz, you're in the car, right?
Yep. I started up. Stow gear. Get my Glock out of my back waistband. Set it on my lap. And whistle at Mr. Rogers.
Okay.
Again, Mr. Rogers comes running, grabs the open car door while Fitz starts to start the car and accelerate gently, and he hops in, closes the door. Go, go, go!
Okay. So Fitz,
Nice.
Fitz, it's going to come down to you. It's going to be
Okay.
just a straight 12 because you have driving abilities. It would have been hard otherwise. You need to successfully beat the driving check. You can use any stat that you want. If you can get higher than a 12, then you make it out onto the road and away before the cops turn the last bend. And
You got this, buddy. You got
okay,
this.
But if you do, we're gonna end the scene, end the game, as you're getting chased by the cops. Actually, well, we might
Okay.
not end the
So
scene
I'm rolling a
yet.
D12.
No, you're gonna roll a d20 plus whatever stat you want.
Okay. I'm using Dex.
Nice.
Drifting around the corner. No. 11.
Oh
No, 12, 12.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Dude. Oh my god.
Okay, dude. Okay, so let me grab some tokens real quick. So you bust out of the car, out of the thing as you see a line of police cars come barreling in, and you're able to just narrowly get out of, like, let me look like you were not in line with the where you came from, as this line of cop cars just barrels past you. Okay. So you are able to escape, and you're on your way back. But they don't notice you. And they are able to get away. Does anybody you guys don't have access to the radio channels for the cops, right? Because you've shot the
No longer, correct.
Yep.
The only thing we
Yeah,
took was the camera.
Yep. Okay. Then you will have no idea what the cops find or how they proceed, but we're gonna end it right there. As you, yeah, they'll essentially you return back to the post office, give your report, to the handlers, and they are definitely not happy with you. Not excited with they're grateful that you were able to gather the evidence. But they do inform you that there was an entire incident after you left the cabin. A cop went mad and attacked the other police officers, and there was a whole scene. And now they have to deal with that, but that will be for another day.
Well, I feel like we did a great job. Manny handle it.